This is your mode of transportation. It is right here. On the grounds? Yes. The future King of England just pulled up to Windsor Castle on an electric scooter. But that scooter is just one piece of a much larger decoy system William has built to move through Britain without anyone knowing. From plane tickets booked under fake names to flying on the royal family's new jets, here's how the heir to the British throne disappears secretly. The budget airline strategy. Prince William boards planes the same way everyone else does. He sits in economy class. He pays for cheap tickets. He uses fake names on bookings. In 2015, William flew Ryanair from Stansted to Glasgow. The ticket cost between £20 and £60. He wore a navy jumper, pale shirt, trousers, and glasses. One bodyguard sat next to him. The other passengers had no idea who was sitting among them until after the plane landed. A fellow traveler snapped a photo upon disembarking, expressing surprise at seeing royalty on a cheap flight. This was not a one-time event. In 2019, the entire family flew fly from Norwich to Aberdeen. They were heading to Balmoral for vacation. Tickets ran about £73 each. William, Kate, their children, and their nanny all sat together in regular seats. They blended with public travelers throughout the journey. The strategy works because of anonymity techniques the family has developed over years of travel. During the 2014 royal tour to Australia, William and Kate traveled under the pseudonyms Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Their infant son, Prince George, was listed as Baby Jones. Royal correspondent Emily Andrews explained this practice in the Channel 5 documentary Secrets of the Royal Flight. The aliases helped the royals sneak onto the plane without anyone noticing. The booking tactics extend beyond just names. William typically travels with just one plainclothes bodyguard. This reduces the visibility of his entourage. He often boards last or uses VIP lounges with separate chauffeur access to avoid queues. The choice of budget carriers like Ryanair and Flybe work specifically because these airlines are not associated with luxury travel. Nobody expects royalty in a cramped economy seat. In 2022, William and Kate flew British Airways to Boston for the Earthshot Prize ceremony. They traveled in first class but kept a low profile. Witnesses described them as utterly delightful during brief interactions with passengers. The commercial flight approach has become more common among younger royals. Emily Andrews noted in the documentary that this generation is more media savvy and attuned to public opinion than their predecessors. The choice to fly commercial is partly about cost and partly about perception. When taxpayer-funded aircraft are unavailable for personal trips, budget airlines offer a practical solution that also generates positive press coverage. But commercial flights represent only one piece of the travel puzzle. William's most frequent secret travel method involves a different kind of aircraft entirely, one that allows him to move between locations in minutes rather than hours, one that can land almost anywhere, one that has generated significant controversy despite its practical advantages. The helicopter became William's primary tool for discreet movement across Britain, and understanding how he uses it reveals the complex balance between royal efficiency and environmental responsibility that defines his approach to travel. The helicopter network. The kingdom. Prince William uses these aircraft extensively for trips that would otherwise require hours of ground travel or public transportation with accompanying security complications. In 2025, the royal family's two new Augusta Westland AW139 helicopters accumulated 58,000 miles of flight distance. This is equivalent to circling the Earth more than twice. The aircraft logged 420 hours of operation from late February to late November. They were operational on at least 142 of the 279 days during that period. William personally accounted for 47 stops at Windsor and 5 stops at Forest Lodge, his family's new residence in Windsor Great Park. These flights supported engagements ranging from rugby matches to referee training courses to visits with England's women's football team. The flight costs are substantial. Each journey can run up to £17,000 from taxpayer-funded sources. An estimated £600,000 was spent on 141 flights in the prior year through the Sovereign Grant, which finances official royal activities. This helicopter usage serves a specific purpose that ground transportation cannot match. William maintains multiple residences across Britain. His primary home is Adelaide Cottage near Windsor Castle. His family recently relocated certain operations to Forest Lodge in the 4,800-acre Windsor Great Park. He regularly visits the Duchy of Cornwall properties across southwest England. He travels to Scotland for family gatherings at Balmoral, and he undertakes official engagements throughout the country that require presence in multiple locations on the same day. The helicopter network enables a rhythm of movement that would be impossible otherwise. Every 4 to 6 weeks, William conducts what insiders call Duchy Days. These involve him quietly visiting farms, offices, and tenants across the Duchy of Cornwall, without media fanfare. The trips are kept off the court circular. The official record of royal engagements. Loyal locals and staff maintain discretion about the visits. The helicopter allows William to arrive, conduct business, and depart without the logistical complications of announced travel. The secrecy serves multiple functions. It allows William to interact with tenants and employees in normal circumstances, rather than stage public events. It prevents media attention that would disrupt the communities he visits, and it maintains the operational flexibility that his schedule demands. But the helicopter usage has not escaped public attention. The Afghanistan trip in 2008 demonstrated William's comfort with military aircraft in secretive operations. Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Charles approved the mission. William co-piloted a C-17 Globemaster from RAF Breeze Norton to Kandahar. He spent 3 hours on the ground with British troops. On the return journey via Qatar, the aircraft carried the body of Trooper Robert Pearson, a fallen British soldier. The 30-hour mission remained classified until after completion to avoid security risks. This operation showcased William's RAF training and his willingness to participate in high-stakes, low-visibility missions. His 1,300 hours of search and rescue flying experience gave him genuine piloting credentials that inform his comfort with helicopter travel today. The family dynamics around helicopter usage have generated internal tensions. King Charles reportedly urges caution regarding family helicopter flights, particularly since his 2024 cancer diagnosis. Succession protocols historically required royal consent for heirs to fly together. William needed approval to travel with his children, creating what one biographer described as clashes between father and son over safety considerations. The statistical comparison within the royal family provides context for William's usage. Princess logged 68 stops at her Gatcombe Park estate in 2025, making her the highest volume helicopter user among the royals. Her 400-plus annual engagements justify the travel frequency. William's 52 stops represent a moderate position within the family's overall flight patterns. Buckingham Palace has defended the practice repeatedly. A spokesperson stated that helicopters provide unique capability to access remote regions of the UK and allow members of the royal family to undertake multiple engagements in a given day. The environmental implications of this travel approach have created a significant public relations challenge. William leads the Earthshot Prize initiative, which funds innovations aimed at fixing environmental problems. His helicopter usage generates carbon emissions that critics argue contradict his public environmental stance. The royal household has implemented mitigation measures. The AW139 helicopters operate on up to 50% sustainable aviation fuel, which reduces life cycle emissions by 70 to 80% compared to traditional fuel. This represents the maximum current industry standard for such aircraft, but the controversy persists because the fundamental tension remains unresolved. How does someone who advocates for climate action justify extensive air travel? Ground-level secrecy. When William needs to move without any aircraft at all, he has developed an entirely different set of techniques for remaining invisible in plain sight. These methods involve electric scooters within the Windsor estate and public trains for longer domestic journeys. The electric scooter became William's tool for navigating the vast grounds around Windsor Castle. Adelaide Cottage, the family's primary residence, sits about 2 to 3 miles from Windsor Castle itself. Walking this distance takes 15 to 20 minutes. Driving involves security arrangements and visibility. The scooter splits the difference, providing quick transportation with minimal footprint. On July 4, 2024, William was filmed zipping downhill on an electric scooter. He wore a blue sweater, black pants, and sunglasses. The footage captured what observers described as effortless movement across the green lawns of the estate. The scooter made a memorable appearance during the filming of the Apple TV Plus series, The Reluctant Traveler. Comedian Eugene Levy was visiting Windsor Castle when William arrived on the scooter. "This is your mode of transportation." Levy asked about William's arrival method. William responded with characteristic understatement, noting his low threshold for adventure. The scooters William uses are high-end models priced up to £6,000 with speeds reaching 10 miles per hour. They represent an eco-friendly alternative to the constant car trips that estate life would otherwise require. However, this transportation method has recently encountered restrictions. At Forest Lodge, the family's new home in Windsor Great Park, all forms of motorized transport are prohibited due to safety and traffic management rules within the 4,800-acre park. Royal experts predict compliance without issue, noting that William has demonstrated flexibility in adapting to different residential requirements. The scooter preference connects to William's earlier transportation choices. He previously rode motorcycles, including a Ducati 1198S, but paused his hobby after becoming a father. You know, every generation of the royal family has to reinvent the role for the generation that they serve. How he travels secretly reflects one dimension of this reinvention: commercial flights under fake names, helicopters for efficiency between residences and duties, electric scooters across estate grounds, public trains to community events. Each method serves a different purpose in the complex system that allows a future king to maintain something resembling ordinary life. The cameras will eventually document whatever public role William assumes, but the secret travel will continue, because family life requires protection from the visibility that comes with the crown.